Bitcoin is down 50% in the middle of a bull market. So many conflicting opinions on what is next for BTC price. In this video, I want to break down one very simple thing. No matter how you spin it, Bitcoin is bullish. What is up, everyone? Welcome to Crypto Capital Venture. Hit the subscribe and like on the way in. It really means a lot to me as we grow this YouTube channel. Let's jump into the Bitcoin video. And this is Bitcoin Weekly zoomed out. I'm going to break down kind of a time frame perspective regarding this bull market. And also we're going to look at some on-chain metrics. Bitcoin's bullish. We're down 50% right now. The accumulation phase has begun. It is what it is. We'll talk about potential downside, but let me start here. If the Bitcoin bull market really did end, and if it ended that quickly, then any bear market BTC sees will likely end just as quick. Now, if we go to this chart, I want to break down what I meant in that tweet because this is really important data. And I mentioned it briefly in a video earlier today, but I want to really break this down. These white lines that you see on the screen, Bitcoin halving, the whole cycle story of Bitcoin is the supply demand factor. It's that supply shock that comes into play in the long-term growth and trajectory of Bitcoin. Here's the 2016 halving. Here's the 2012 halving. Now, each bull market that Bitcoin has had, we've had kind of this length of time after that halving. So far, if this was the top of the Bitcoin bull market, that means from the 2020 halving, Bitcoin lasted 336 days. The last Bitcoin cycle from post 2016, it lasted to all-time high right here, 511 days. Now, even in 2012 halving to the bull market high before we entered that 2015 bear market, 364 days to this swing high. So 364 days all the way back in 2013 when there was like no institutional demand. There was no even retail demand similar to what we're having today. And the fundamentals of Bitcoin in a way different part of the storyline and growth of Bitcoin. Now, so this would be to say only 336 days from 2020 halving this bull market basically lasted. And it's actually less because we use a technical indicator to really get a sense of when the bull market even started. That is the 2017 high to the bear market low. And then we entered this bull market door area, this green area. From when we entered and broke into the bull market here, we are to the top, to the swing high, 154 days. That's all it was. In the last bull market, entering the bull market doors, right? 315 days to the top of the bull market, over pretty much half, right? Half of where we are right now. And then even going back all the way here, Bitcoin entering the Fibonacci bull market doors, and that's 2011 swing high to the swing low, entering these bull market doors here, right? All the way to this 2013 high, 287 days, almost 2 times as long as what we've just experienced entering these bull market doors. We are still early in this game. And so I ended that tweet and I basically said, I just don't think the bull market has ended. This is a really, really strong reason why. But I also just want to talk about this. And this is where the opportunity begins. This is why Bitcoin is bullish, even in a 50% dip with potential downside. Anything can happen. Dan Moore had tweeted this, and this was just such a great tweet earlier. He said, inflows data show that investing when Bitcoin is cheap is not easy. Right now, Bitcoin's cheap. Bitcoin was just above 60,000. Now we're close to 30,000. We just wicked below 30,000 into the 20,000s. There's fear, and he's saying investing when Bitcoin is cheap, not easy. As price rises sharply, investors FOMO in. As it reverts to fair value, few buy. If you have the emotional and financial resources, go the other way. This is buy the fear is what he's saying. And this is where we are. We are in this kind of realm of fear. You know, there was so much FOMO. I was getting so many messages from people back here about buying Bitcoin, about buying Cardano, about what altcoin should I buy. We're down 50%. Is there case for downside? Yes. This is what it looks like. Case for downside, the bear market low to now this current swing high. If that's the bull market high, if it really ended that quickly, we have this green channel down here, you know, 26,000 to around $16,000. There's potential we drop into that area. But if that is the case, if that did happen, we're going to dip into that way quicker. This is not going to be like a multi-year bear market, I do not think. And if we dipped into it, it won't last long. And the biggest point to make here is really this 50% plus dip into the 20,000s. It's almost kind of like the worst is over. The worst part is over. So the opportunity has begun, and people are accumulating. It's the short-term investors that are taking the most loss right now. Namely the people that kind of are buying here and they're getting scared and they're selling and they're getting out of the markets. We're getting a reset right now in these charts. So this is another reason. Now, if we go to on-chain metrics, this is from Glassnode data. Just want to point this out. A lot going on in terms of miner activity. One thing to note is the sell pressure has dramatically come down. And you can see just right here, relative to 2020 and Q1 2021, miner sell pressure on exchanges has actually been notably less than the 300 to 500 BTC a day sustained over that period. So you can just see the graph here. The amount of miner Bitcoin being sent to exchanges just decreasing, the sell pressure decreasing. There is a reset in the market. And yes, there's still fear. There's a lot of uncertainty. We look at these charts together pretty much every day. None of us know the next move for Bitcoin. We can look at the Bitcoin data. We zoom in on the charts all the time. Even zoomed out, we see this bounce off of this 1618 line, potentially in the middle of this bull market. Very similar move back here off of macro 1618 line in the middle of that bull market. And you can just see that the buying pressure is there. People are accumulating Bitcoin. Accumulators truly are accumulating Bitcoin. That is also based off of Glassnode metrics that we see. The stablecoin supply ratio oscillator bottomed and has been trending up in recent weeks, indicating the capital has been flowing back from stablecoins into Bitcoin. Look at this. Last time we were here in this vicinity on this chart, this was the entry of the bull market, October 2020 into November, the entry into the bull market. And you can see Bitcoin once again is there on that chart. And just noting once again, Bitcoin investor group that is realizing most losses is the short-term speculators. Putting all of that aside, we also have this. Look at this data in terms of Bitcoin really entering that oversold area on this long-term chart. I was just curious because I saw this RSI, the stock RSI, quicker moving momentum oscillator down here indicating oversold. I was looking, I was like, man, this has really just been trickling down for a while. 112 days. Zooming out, even the entry of the last bear market before at least getting a bounce, Bitcoin only 91 days. And that bounce took Bitcoin to the 20-week moving average. We know the 20-week moving average just below $50,000 right now. The case for it, at the very least, a bounce to the $50,000 area is becoming stronger and stronger. And it's something I've talked about on this channel before. It just seems the most likely move for Bitcoin, going all the way back to 2014, I should say, right at the beginning of 2014, into the entry of that bear market, 126 days before getting, at the very least, a bounce similar to the 20-week moving average. So at the very least, I say once again, Bitcoin to the 20-week moving average makes the most sense from a technical perspective, technical analysis perspective. But you start mixing all of this stuff in, you do see the potential for downside. If it all fails, if the fear just gets the best of market sentiment and something bad happens in terms of news and headlines, we know how that can happen. Even if we're coming down and we're going into the 20,000s, I mean, we are really entering just such solid accumulation area, in my opinion. Just as we do technical analysis every day, putting all of this data together, it just really makes sense to say Bitcoin is very bullish right now. It sounds better, right? It sounds better to the ears when we're saying Bitcoin's bullish, when we're seeing these huge weekly candles, we're hitting 60,000, we're breaking, remember, we're just breaking 20,000, we're breaking 30,000, 40,000, 50, 60. It sounds better. It makes more sense on the surface level, the emotional level, to say Bitcoin's bullish. It makes a little less sense when there's fear in the market to say Bitcoin is bullish. But, reverting back to this, as price rises sharply, investors FOMO in. As it reverts to fair value, few buy. Only accumulators that have been accumulating for years seem to really be buying Bitcoin right now. And that's because one simple reason: Bitcoin is bullish. And again, this is my opinion. This is no guarantee. This isn't financial advice. I wanted to share all of this data with you, put it together in a very brief video. Let me know your thoughts below. Are you bullish on Bitcoin? Are you picking up what I'm putting down, or am I in outer space here? Let me know. Hit the subscribe if you're not a subscriber. I'll see you in the next video. God bless.